Being comfortable enough to step back and allow people that are the expert of all the things that they know to be, especially our youth, to speak and to accept the things that they have and accept their position. The biggest lesson that I learned is that I don't know everything. And I don't think there's any being that's walking this earth that knows everything.
Hello and welcome to our 3-part video series, and thanks for joining our first session. My name is Jasmine Deacon. I am based out of Detroit, Michigan. Before we get started, I wanted to talk about the purpose of this video series. We designed this video series to highlight the perspectives of individuals in the field, which include direct service workers, researchers, youth and young adults with lived expertise, and multidisciplinary providers. The focus of this first session will be to address combating and preventing sex trafficking of Black girls and diving into a deeper discussion around what are some of those best practices. Why are we focusing on Black girls? Well, we know that Black girls are disproportionately affected by sex trafficking, and despite the fact that young Black girls are suffering from disproportionate high levels of trauma, it often goes unaddressed, which implies that they are not receiving adequate supports and solutions that center Black girls, their healing, and their prevention. So will we begin to approach sex trafficking proactively instead of reactively? And in this video series, we aim to have in-depth discussion regarding Black girls who are victims of sex trafficking, or who are at risk of becoming victims of sex trafficking, or who are on their path to survivorhood. Now, through shared and communal learning, we can break down the narrative surrounding Black girls and provide a necessary perspective to the conversation. Now, to begin with, we will interview Pearls for Teen Girls organization. We wanted to provide a preview of some of the most important highlights that our organization needs to know in order to effectively serve Black girls.
Welcome to this great conversation held with Jasmine from Pearls for Teen Girls. My name is Diamond Dumas, she, her pronouns, currently located in Jacksonville, Florida. And I'll pass it over to Jasmine to introduce herself.
My name is Jasmine Deacon. I'm the program manager here at Pearls for Teen Girls, located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is where I'm located. Pearls for Teen Girls is a nonprofit organization geared towards helping girls become the absolute best version of themselves. And through that, our overall mission is to create happier, healthier communities by serving one girl at a time.
Appreciate you being here to talk about this really big topic of combating and preventing sex trafficking of Black girls and the promising practice that go along with that work. So to begin, let me first ask you about Pearls. The acronym for your organization stands for Personal Responsibility, Empathy, Awareness, Respect, Leadership, and Support. Can you tell me how these acronyms came to be and why your organization decided to serve this population of girls?
Pearls for Teen Girls started out as a volunteer initiative with our founder, Colleen Fitzgerald. So she went to a local middle school, Jackie Robinson, in the year 1993. And what she did is that she just started having group sessions in just small circles with girls. So those acronyms that you just listed was created by the first group of girls that we served. And their overall mission and the things that they wanted to do when thinking about it is that they wanted to learn how to be more personally responsible, empathetic, how to be respectful to someone, even if they did have a disagreement, how to be great leaders in the community, how to have support and support one another. And within that safe space, the first group of girls that we served, they created what the PROS acronym is. And it's really amazing that this started in 1993 and here we are in 2021. And those same personal values still holds true to today. What happened at that very first group session is that girls came together in that space and built trust to be able to talk about their challenges and to talk about things that they've experienced living in the inner city. So majority of Milwaukee, for the most part, is predominantly Black. It's a Black city. And by default, that is predominantly who we serve, Black and brown girls.
Already created a great segue to our next question, which is how has girls from your organization been a part of the planning and implementation from the beginning? So you mentioned that already with the name and its origin story. What approaches are there and have you taken to working with girls?
Everything that we do is based in whatever the girls see fit as best for them. So we have an intergenerational approach with our facilitation teams. So a program coordinator is a woman that have youth work experience, but she's also paired up with a young woman that is either in high school or in college or at the beginning of her career and wants to do the same type of nonprofit work and make the same changes in young ladies in the community. So with the intergenerational approach, because I am so many years removed from TikTok and from all of the things, I don't know any of the new terminology or anything like that, but in a space where I can, of course, learn. With the intergenerational approach, we now have someone that is closer to the age of the girls that we serve that can build that bridge. So not only is it in our group sessions, but it is also part of our board. We have pros alum that are now members of our board. We have surveys at the beginning and the end of each semester where we find out what type of college and career readiness experience do girls want to have. How are we going to structure out our group sessions each week? Feedback and things that they want to experience in the community and places that they want to go so that we can have the right type of partners in place. So girls are truly the anchor and foundation in all the things that we do. And then once they complete the program, which we serve girls 5th through 12th grade, there's always space for them as an alum to either come back and serve on our boards or different committees associated with our board, or to be supporters and champions for us in the community.
That is so awesome and such an amazing opportunity. What recommendations do you have for listening and utilizing the expertise of Black girls in organization?
Being comfortable enough to step back and allow people that are the expert of all the things that they know to be, especially our youth, to speak and to accept the things that they have and accept their position. The biggest lesson that I learned is that I don't know everything. And I don't think there's any being that's walking this earth that knows everything and has a solution to things. And being comfortable with letting youth lead. I remember a point in my youth where I'm like, dang, I really wish that the people that are coming to me and giving me advice and telling me things that I need to do would actually give me space to speak from my perspective. And so growing into this role, it has really been like, Jasmine, why don't you be quiet and let these young ladies say exactly what it is that they need and how they wish to be supported, and understanding that the way that you like things is not going to be the way that they like things. So biggest advice, just be okay with stepping back.
Thank you. And I believe you touched on this a little bit in your previous response, but what are some of the ways that putting girls first has been core to the value in your organization?
Putting girls first is what has kept us around for 27, 28 years. Majority of our leaders were adults. We don't know. We have no idea what the new wave is, but being able to incorporate the youth that we serve, even if they only come to one group session, that's fine. Valuing their opinion and knowing that our perspective is going to be way different, but for what it is, how we want to impact communities, we have to be able to let our girls step up and tell us what it is exactly that they want. So just being comfortable with making sure that one, they have a space and know that we are anchored in our foundation and all the things that we would like to do, we need you to do it. So that is from the girls that we serve, the women that we did serve that are now alum, and even the staff that have joined, girls that are champion, like, I really wish that I could come to groups, but I have sports or I have after school something, but for them to know that they have a space where they can speak freely about the things that they want. Wow. like the space for them to speak freely about the things that they want without anyone chastising them or trying to edit their statement to make it be what's best fit for someone else. That is Girls First here at Pearls.
And let's talk a little bit more about these spaces that you are creating. So how would you describe your curriculum components of how girls impact the areas of focus your organization address most frequently?
Have five different components that we like to focus on in a group session. And it gives girls structure in addition to goal setting, but it gives girls structure on how to be the absolute best version of themselves. So building healthy relationships and understanding how and what a healthy relationship is, and making sure that we're not focusing on what a romantic relationship is, but what is a positive interaction between you and your teacher, or you and your aunt, or you and your cousin, you and your parents, grandparents, however, recognizing the different types of relationships and what is a healthy relationship, but just knowing how to build relationships with others. Loving myself, being your champion and being okay with being a champion for yourself, just believing that you can do anything that you put your mind to. Helping hands in the community, teaching girls that around you, like you can make a positive impact in that. Being able to take your time and your talents somewhere else to make a positive impact on the world around you. Believing the sky is the what that is our college and career readiness focus, and that is geared toward what do I want to be part of in the future? What is post-secondary success? Is it military? Is it workforce? Is it collegiate? Is it a break to breathe? So giving them the tools and things that they need to be able to build themselves up for their future. And then striving to achieve. That is going out and actually motivating and being positive about the things. It's believing the sky is the limit. I mean, all of them are connected, but believing the sky is the limit and striving to achieve, being interlocked together, and all the things that you want to do. What things can we put together to apply to practice, to test this out? And then tangible experiences along the way. So all of those components together make up our program, and we do our best to intentionally give girls a piece of that each semester. So we run parallel to our school year here, which is September to May, and to give them a bunch of different experiences throughout all of those compass points. So those are the big components of our program, in addition to goal setting and teaching girls how to set SMART goals. So our girls set SMART goals, and they're year-long goals, and they have checkpoints along the way to understand that you can't take a huge bite out of something and think that you can take it all in and digest it, but to celebrate those small milestones along the way. So academic goals, self-development goals, goals that push them to be, go out and have different experiences, try out for the dance team, join the anime club, even though you'll probably be the only girl. A little bit different now, but join the anime club, take on the, join the club that's not associated with your school, just to teach them tangible experiences of adventure. So all of those components together.
You have so much great work going on. And those are all amazing components. And I really appreciate the real life experiences that you're bringing in and how you're talking about the organization in real time. That's a lot. So I guess our next question focuses around the effectiveness, right? So in your organization, how do you assess your effectiveness and the impact you have on serving Black girls?
The coordinators take a moment to reflect. How was group today? What we did an activity where we got to work with one another. How was that for you? What do we need to do more of? What do we need to do less of? And taking the time to get that feedback, let us know the next time we come in, we know what this particular group of girls want. And then also being comfortable in knowing that what my 5th and 6th grade group over here at ABC Elementary is not going to be the same thing that girls at XYZ Elementary enjoy. So being flexible to the things that they need by reflection. In addition to that, we survey, and we have gotten very creative in our surveying, and not sitting them down in front of a piece of paper and having them check boxes or circle things, not just that, but to be able to have it be a dialogue back and forth, so what did you enjoy about this semester, and giving girls the space to, and teaching them tangibly in that moment how to go back and reflect and be like, you know what, I really enjoyed this. And also the comfort in saying like, I didn't really like when we did that. So through that, we're able to switch out our curriculums, or getting the permission from our funders that give the curriculum to be creative with it so that we can meet our girls where they're at. So surveying them in a multitude of different ways, also reflection. And then once girls get to their senior year and beyond, inviting them to come back to say like, you know, now that I'm an adult and looking back on my time in Pearls, I really wish we would have spent more time talking about this. Taking that, how do we add that component into the girls that we're serving now? So really tapping into who's the expert of being in our space.
For sharing that. And you said a phrase that is very commonly heard in the youth service field of meeting youth where they're at. So that brings me to, how is social and emotional learning and trauma-informed care incorporated into your organization?
In the spaces that we have, just very small things, and sometimes it's things that that I try my best to do as a facilitator. I try not to stand over a girl. If we're talking, then I want to make sure we're at eye level. You know, let me get down, let me get with you so that we can talk. And the same thing where we sit in a circle so that we're able to see everyone. Take time. If you need to step away, step away. You know, if you need to stand up and stretch, stretch. But then also practicing character, you know, like how are you arriving to the space? Are you good in this space? We have fidgets. We have a large room where it is just a private space for just us to be in a group session. So no other adult from any school or community-based organization that we serve is allowed in that space. And we have our Vegas rule: what happens in Pearls stays in Pearls. And through reflective questioning, you know, when blank happened, how did that make you feel? You know, and it's okay for you not to know. So being able to practice even as an adult, walking into a space like, I had a rough day today, you know, and while I had a rough day, I have been looking forward to see y'all, but my energy is low. And for girls to see an adult say something like that, like, I feel the same way sometimes. So to normalize those feelings that we all feel throughout the day. One of my, I'll tell a quick story. One of my program coordinators, as in-house program coordinator at a local high school, she has an emotion chart in her room, her site. And what charged her to do that is that her girls only knew I'm happy, or I'm sad, or I'm mad. And she said, but there's so many other things in between there. You know, like there's so many other things that you could be feeling. And when she, hey, how are you today? Asking girls, how are you today? Oh, I'm fine. Let's walk over to this chart. Is there anything that's on this chart, any face on this chart that you can identify with? And then we started getting things like, I'm excited, I'm content, I'm frustrated, I'm grieving. You know, though, to be able, and then at that point, we can really get to like, we're able to be there for them to be able to say more than I'm happy, I'm sad, but to be, oh, you're grieving. Okay, take your time. But if we need to talk, you know, I'm here. So that's an example. Oh, and wow, what a service that was what an example that was for girls to be able to identify more than happy, sad, mad.
What are some top 3 lessons learned by working with Black girls in your organization, and which can help others in their organizations?
Step up, step back, and knowing that the youth that you are interacting with, the Black girls that you are interacting with, are the expert of the things that they know to be true. So being comfortable with listening. And sometimes listening is the only thing that you can do when they're sharing their stories. One phrase I like to keep in my back pocket when I get those, Ms. Jasmine, we really need to talk. Before my girls get deep into, you know, their story, I have to ask, what role do you want me to play in this? Do you want me to be the listening ear and the shoulder to lean on? Or, pardon me, or do you want me to respond to the things that you're telling? Do you want my support in this actively? do you want me to listen or do you want me to jump in and say things once you're finished? And through that, it's like, wow, I was expecting for you to just come in and just tell me what to do, and to tell me how to problem solve. But giving them the option, a lot of times I get like, I just want you to listen, and being okay with like, I just gotta listen. I just have to listen. I can't. She doesn't want me to say anything else, so just giving her the space to be free. Next piece of advice. So that was a big lesson for me. Next lesson is that they can see you. They can see you. They can feel you. So how you arrive to interact with them, they can feel that. So if you have frustration, or if you had a rough day, or anything of that sort where your energy is off into a space, no one can sniff you out more than a teenager. They can feel that. So being okay with being transparent about your feelings in the moment. And as I mentioned before, I'm having a rough day, but I'm determined to make a difference, going forward. Now that I'm here with y'all, like, I'm going to feed off y'all energy, and we're going to have a group session. We're going to have a good session. We're going to have a good time. So knowing that it is okay to be transparent. Last thing, take off the cape. I haven't met a single girl that wants to be saved. Come and save me. All of the girls that I have interacted with, and even girls, young ladies that are in my family, is like, I just need to know how to navigate. Like, how do I problem solve this? And they take the pieces of advice that you give if they wish in that moment to hear it, and they sauce it up and they do it their own way. So remove the cape. Let our young ladies go. They're more powerful than you think. They're more resilient than you think. They're more creative than I ever was as a youth. So being comfortable in knowing that they got it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I think that's our close. So those interested in finding out more about Pearls for Teen Girls may visit their website for more details. Jasmine, do you have any other ways for people to learn more about your organization and stay connected to what you do?
You can find us on all of our social media accounts, as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, by searching Pearls for Teen Girls, Inc. And hopefully we'll continue our live streams of our large events, but staying connected to our social media accounts and our website will show you ways for you to interact with us. And if you're in the city of Milwaukee, check us out.
Wow, I don't know about you all, but I truly appreciate the insightful and remarkable conversation that Jasmine and Diamond had. Some key takeaways that I captured in that was when Pearls for Teen Girls first developed their acronyms, they were developed by the first group of girls that they served in their organization. Like, how awesome is that? Their approach of incorporating the girls' voices at the start of their beginning stages has proven successful in addressing Black girls' needs and those wants. And although it was created at the beginning, the girls who are part of their organization still firmly believe and agree with those acronyms. And a true, authentic partnership starts with focusing on our Black girls and their healing and their needs and their wants in order to truly and fully serve them. And by putting Black girls in the center, they have led their organization to full sustainability for 20 plus years. I also heard Jasmine speak about the intergenerational approach that was used within their organization, which allows the girls in their organization to best decide what they think will be beneficial to them in their program. Jasmine also mentioned that it creates a way in which Black girls would have a career pathway in their organization in the near future. Jasmine also touched on something that was so near and dear to my heart, is when they put girls first in the organization, they do so by creating a safe space for Black girls to show up and fully be themselves. Like, do you guys know how important that is? That was so powerful. And by creating that space is how they see impact for the girls in their organization. And also, what is some advice that Jasmine gave was being able to step up but step back and let those Black girls lead, and being comfortable in letting them have that space. Some key components that Jasmine talked about that they used with their girls was building healthy relationships, loving oneself, and being your own champion. helping hands in the community, believing that sky is the limit, and striving to achieve. These components are not only useful with their girls that they serve, but also these components truly help make up their program as well. Jasmine touched on so many more wonderful and valid points, but the last takeaway I wanted to address is some lessons that Jasmine have learned in working with Black girls in her organization. One of them was being able to step up and step back and know that Black girls are the experts in their own truth. The second lesson was that youth can see and feel you. So being aware of your energy into a space and then being transparent about those feelings that you're having with those youth and young adults and being able to feed off the positive energy from the youth and young adults. Being able to take off that cape and not try to save those youth. Black girls don't want to be saved. They hold a lot of resilience, and just knowing Black girls are fully the experts. So again, big thanks to Jasmine. It was truly a delightful experience to get to talk with Jasmine and learn so much more insightful information about Pearls for Teen Girls. Her passion and her joy for the work that she is doing was greatly seen and noticed, and we definitely appreciate the great work that their organization is doing. This includes the end of our first session. We appreciate your presence and look forward to the second part of our 3-part video series.
A national leadership team made up of a diverse representation of female-identified Black girls ages 18 to 24. We are committed to creating pathways for Black girls to lead in the work that centers their healing, resilience, and professional development. We focus on Black girls who are disproportionately represented in trafficking and create a space for their voices to be uplifted and moved to the forefront of the field by providing training and technical assistance to the organizations that serve them. Our team is dedicated to capacity building, authentic youth collaboration, and building community. We utilize our passion, power, and pursuit of change to support the prevention and early intervention efforts of trafficking of Black girls.
So who are we here at Youth Collaboratory? Well, Youth Collaboratory serves organizations and professionals working to improve the lives of young people, their families, and the communities. We harness the power of youth services community to innovate, evaluate, and drive effective strategies that assure the safety and well-being of youth and young adults, and unlocking their limitless potential. Our focuses are on coordinated community responses to youth and young adult homelessness, preventing and addressing relationship violence, sexual exploitation, and trafficking of youth, and supporting opportunities for young people to build community with family, peers, and others to enhance their assets, explore their strengths, and develop lasting connections. To learn more about our work, please visit our website at www.youthcollaboratory.org.